There's been a lot of talk about the budget that Donald Trump proposed earlier this week, the 2021 fiscal year budget that cuts Social Security, cuts Medicaid, cuts Medicare, cuts food stamp, cuts all of the government agencies that we actually need to function to keep a healthy country. One of the things that has not been discussed very much, though, is a program that for the fourth year in a row, Donald Trump is trying to cut once again. And this program happens to be a student loan debt forgiveness program for federal workers who go to these low-wage jobs and work there for 10 years. Now, this was signed into law by George W. Bush, of all people, in 2007. And as I explained, basically what it is, you take a job with the federal government, you work at obviously a lower wage than you would probably out there in the private sector. This includes teachers, nurses, social workers, things like that. And if you're there for 10 years, basically doing your duty, serving this country that way for 10 years, making payments on your student loans the whole time, we'll forgive them. You can apply, we'll evaluate, and we will forgive your student loans. That's a pretty decent deal, right? It doesn't apply to many people in this country, but it's a fairly decent program. It's not perfect. In fact, it's riddled with flaws and doesn't go far enough, but hey, it's something, right? And for the fourth year in a row, Donald Trump has put in his federal budget that he wants to kill this program at a time when American citizens are sitting on $1.5 trillion worth of student loan debt. Wants to kill it. Luckily, that's not going to happen because every time he has put this in the budget, the Democrats in the House of Representatives have taken it out. And obviously now that they control the House of Representatives, it's going to be pretty easy to take out this provision. But what this shows us is how little Donald Trump understands about the issues actually affecting average American citizens. That's what this is about. This isn't just, Trump's so cruel and mean. It's that this man literally doesn't understand because he's incapable of it, because he hasn't lived a single second of his life outside of his ivory tower. He doesn't know. And therefore, he doesn't care. He has made no attempt to know what happens to the rest of us because it doesn't affect him personally. And if it doesn't affect him personally, then it's not something he wants to protect or fight for. Contrast that with a guy like Bernie Sanders, who actually understands, a guy who's been all over this country and not just for rallies, has spent time actually talking to these people, not talking at them. Bernie wants to get rid of all student loan debt. Trump doesn't even want low-wage nurses and social workers and teachers to get debt forgiveness after 10 years. It's not just about him being heartless or cruel. It's about him lacking a fundamental understanding of the problems that affect each and every American citizen that isn't a member of the top 1%. He will never understand those problems, and therefore, he will never care about them either. Hey everyone, you know what this is. It's the end screen, where I'm supposed to beg you to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. But what I really want to do is ask you to consider becoming a member for more exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description or go to youtube.com/theringoffire/membership.